Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than anything I've really ever done before. I'm just going to go off the cuff, talk about a lot of what's going on with Lucasfilm and the Twitter firestorm right now revolving around Kathleen Kennedy's supposed departure. Feels like Lucasfilm has a button ready where they press it every 3 months and they announce that Kathy might be leaving, but this time sort of seems legit, but I'll believe it when I see it. I saw one article that was like, she's officially departing. Another one was she'll finish out the week. So it feels really hard to get a clear answer from Lucasfilm sometimes, even about who's running the ship, let alone about like what projects are coming out. I wasn't really planning on making a video initially, but a lot of people were asking my thoughts on the state of Star Wars as a whole right now and how I feel about Kathy maybe leaving and what sort of future that could look like for Star Wars. Here I am to deliver that. I hope you guys don't mind the more out of lore voice, just chatting, catching up with you. Man, though, Star Wars over the last few years, it's been a little rough. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that this is pretty much the greatest job in the whole world, and it would not be possible without you guys viewing the channel and liking it and commenting down below, and I thank God every day for this opportunity to just be able to talk about one of my favorite franchises in general, and I don't want the message to get misconstrued that I'm somehow ungrateful because the channel may not be getting the views that it did when Star Wars was at its height, because I really am eternally grateful, and I think that this is just the opportunity of a lifetime, and I can't believe I get to wake up every day and talk about Star Wars. It's a real gift. But this all started back in 2012. I was just in my senior year of high school, super excited for brand new Star Wars. I could not believe that Disney actually purchased Star Wars from Lucasfilm, and they were going to go ahead with George's blessing and incorporate parts of his vision and maybe have a little bit more resources, time, and just more resources on deck for Star Wars to really move forward in a substantial way. Being a fan of the EU and what is now Legends continuity already, I had a good idea of what was truly possible in the galaxy far, far away. I remember just taking walks in the snow as a kid, just fantasizing over Darth Plagueis and a movie revolving around him and a young Palpatine potentially. Picking up that Darth Plagueis novel again and being transported back to Baldemnik and Naboo to see the origins of the Rule of Two and get new projects on film that would discover and explore the Sith and the Jedi as cultures and philosophies. Getting to see their evolution and all these interesting characters with complex relationships with the Force, and that was just the very beginning of it. Then I got thinking about characters like Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and how excited I was that I would finally get to see Grandmaster Luke on screen potentially. A character that truly means so much to me to this day, and despite him not being adapted on screen faithfully, that character still exists in the pages of Legends. But just the pure hype to get to see even a fraction of a comfort character of mine that means so much to me and always seemed to do the right thing no matter how difficult it was on him. And even when he did make mistakes, he took a great deal of effort to correct that. He was still human, but at the end of the day, he was absolutely always a Jedi. And The Force Awakens came out, and although it didn't conform exactly to my expectations, that's all right. I expect that with media and with Star Wars films. But of course, everything seemed to switch when The Last Jedi came out and the depiction of Luke happened. And I know there's been endless discourse about Kathleen Kennedy and endless discourse about Luke Skywalker online already. So while I'm certainly not reinventing the wheel or am alone in these criticisms, they were really impactful on me and moving forward with the channel and how I felt about Disney running Star Wars from that point forward. I think for me, one of the saddest parts about this last decade of my life following Star Wars is just seeing the nuggets of gold and good ideas that are still possible within the universe and within a galaxy far, far away. There have been moments where I truly feel like the writers have some sort of grasp on something interesting that they're developing with the Force or with certain characters, but then we have these huge hiatuses and we aren't getting projects very often at all, and the projects that we are getting not only are not up to the quality and the lore expectations that George Lucas may have had, but as fans, they feel somewhat disrespectful. I think the biggest, clearest example is The Acolyte and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think a lot of fans really wanted a Kenobi series, and it's clear on film when you go and you watch the show that Lucasfilm and the leadership really shoved all their resources and their money into The Acolyte. and continued this feeling moving forward of, we will give you the Star Wars that we want to give you, and your opinion of what this galaxy should look like, or characters or stories that you want to see, it's not really important to us. And that has directly led to the fan base and myself, and I'm sure a ton of you guys out there, just growing a little bit more apathetic about what Disney is doing with the Star Wars franchise and the Star Wars property. And that's why sometimes it's so frustrating seeing characters like Balin, who are fascinating and have this complex relationship with the Force that is very similar to a ton of Legends characters that I absolutely adore, characters like Revan, but they always seem to pull back and make the same mistakes. You know, getting to see Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian and in the Book of Boba Fett, I know that's a clear member berry, but the way Luke was talking in the Book of Boba Fett and the way he presented himself in The Mandalorian really added back to that original mystique that always surrounded the character of Luke before The Last Jedi came in and tried to essentially recreate a character to the point where he's truly unrecognizable, at least to me. Anyway, enough with the Luke and the Acolyte rambling. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the change at Lucasfilm, I'm gonna believe it when I see it. And if Kathleen Kennedy truly is leaving, I hope that Dave Filoni or whoever takes up the mantle next will take the time to look into the pages of Legends continuity and the source material that, contrary to statements made some time ago, does exist and is substantial. If this channel is anything, it is a testament to a lot of the brilliant, fascinating, wacky, out there stories that Star Wars can offer. Stories that I see you guys comment every single day saying stuff like, why doesn't Disney just adapt this? Why doesn't Disney just give us this? And while of course that's a lot easier said than done with this next phase of Star Wars, if this even is a next phase of Star Wars, I really hope that whoever takes over next has a real respect and a better understanding about these characters and what they mean to so many people. I also really hope that the universe branches out, that the original idea that I had in my head as a kid walking around in the cold was this wide, expansive universe and a truly lived-in galaxy of different wielders of the Force, different religions, different species, and different time periods of the ancient Sith, the ancient Jedi. I would love films and TV shows about the Rakata and the Kwa and the war between the Rakata and the Kwa. The potential of Star Wars is limitless, and it has just felt really chained and bogged down recently. I have hope for the future, but at this point, I really am going to have to see it before I believe it. Star Wars is my favorite franchise, and it will probably always be my favorite franchise. I just want my friends that maybe aren't as deep into it, or my family members, to really understand why I love a galaxy far, far away so much. And sometimes I'm sure you guys have had a shared experience where you've been really excited to show your parents a new Star Wars project, just hoping that maybe they can get a little glimpse and a little idea of why you love and adore it so much. And to have it get to the point where sometimes I don't even want my parents to watch certain projects at all, if really any of them. I guess all I'm trying to say is I really hope that this time is different. I hope that this isn't just an announcement to quiet the fan base for a few months. I want Star Wars to return to the big screen, to return to television, and to be bigger than ever. I want characters like Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi to be treated with respect and love that they deserve. But most of all, guys, I just wanted to talk to you for a bit and share my thoughts on Star Wars as a whole right now. If you're seeing this, you're definitely a part of the core audience, and man, I can't thank you guys enough. With Star Wars interest in the state that it's in right now, and the fact that I can still make videos and people will still watch them at all, it's just a huge honor. But anyway, guys, I really want to know your thoughts. Do you think that this time's legit? Do you think that Kathleen Kennedy is departing? And do you think there's hope for Star Wars? And do you feel similarly or different than I do? What is your official overview of Star Wars of the last decade? I'd love to hear from you. And let me know what you think about this more free-flowing, scriptless video. I'd love to make more if you guys like it. As always, my friends, though, I hope you're doing great, and may the Force be with you.